There are actually 3 things that I want to tell you that seed companies don't want you to know. Last season I had no end of trouble getting some of the commercially bought seeds that I had to actually germinate and grow. And I ended up with some sickly looking plants, and I suspect one of the seed varieties that I had in the tomatoes was actually carrying a viral disease. Over here you can see I have a trial going of Homestead seeds versus the exact same variety from some bought seeds. And as you can tell, the Homestead seeds are doing significantly better than the bought ones. Why is this? Did you know that seed companies actually keep the very best seeds for themselves? When seed companies harvest their seed, they send them through a set of sieves. And at the top layer are the biggest seeds, and they keep the biggest and best ones for themselves. Obviously this is to preserve the seed line and to make sure that they're getting the very best genetics themselves, but it means you miss out. The next layer, the next size seeds, these are the ones that are sent to the commercial growers, the ones that buy huge amounts all at once, and they need a really good quality seed. So they get the second tier, which means you miss out on those too. And what's left at the bottom is the dust. It's the little seeds, the gimpy seeds, the ones that are half, and they're the ones that are packaged up and sold to the consumer. And sure, they'll still grow the plants, but the downside to them is they're not as big, so they don't have as much resource for the seed to get germinated and to get off to a really good start. These are the seeds that I'm actually growing as part of my trial to compare the Homestead seeds versus the bought seeds. And these Homestead seeds are so big and black and shiny and healthy looking, and these bought ones are small and grey. They're exactly the same variety, just the big ones are the ones that I have saved myself, and the small ones are the ones that have come out of a packet. So this season, if you're starting to grow a lot of your plants from seeds, it's a really awesome idea to try and find someone that has saved their own seeds rather than buying them commercially. Obviously, if that's all you can get and it's a really good way to get started with cheap plants, for sure buy some commercially produced seeds, and it's a really great way of introducing yourself to new varieties as well. But if you can find the exact same variety in a seed bank or someone that saves their own seed, then it's probably worth trying those instead, because you may well find you get a better germination rate and healthier plants. When you go shopping for your seed, you will find that some of them say F1 or hybrid. And these are the ones that the parent plants are actually 2 different varieties of the same type of plants, different breeds of the same variety. I don't know how to say that, but like it'll be one type of tomato and a different type of tomato, and they've crossed them. And that first generation cross is called an F1 hybrid. And the upside to a hybrid is you get that extra vigor. You tend to get really specific traits that they're looking for because the parents have been bred for those specific traits, but you get what's called hybrid vigor, which means you'll get a faster growing, more productive plant. The downside to hybrid seeds like that is you have to buy them fresh every year to get that exact same hybrid. This is one of the ways that seed companies will kind of hook you into buying seeds every year from them, because they say you can't save seeds from a hybrid plant. Now that is not true. Those seeds and the vast majority of hybrids will still actually be fertile and will still actually grow. And if you plant hybrid tomato seeds, for example, they're still going to give you a tomato. They just might not be completely identical to the parent plant that you've saved the seeds from, but they will still be edible and they will still be a tomato. If you want to be sure that you can save your own seeds and not have this issue with hybrids, then it's really awesome to look for things that are called heirloom or at least open pollinated varieties. And these are ones that will breed true to seed every time, so you don't have to worry about them cross-pollinating and giving you a weird hybrid the next generation. Now there's a bit of a rumor that goes around that says you can't save your own pumpkin seeds because they might be poisonous. And actually that's a little bit true, but also not very true. If you allow your seeds to cross-pollinate amongst themselves, there is a very slim chance that they'll cross with a bitter gourd or something that you're not meant to eat. But the chance of this happening is fairly low, especially if you're not actually growing them yourself. But the best way to make sure that your plants that are a little what they call promiscuous, that will easily crossbreed amongst different types, is to bag up the flower and make sure that you protect it from any kind of pollinators. And that means you can go ahead and pollinate it yourself. Most plants, this is not actually a problem, but if you're wanting to save seeds from any kind of squash or cucurbit, So pumpkins, squash, zucchini, cucumbers, gherkins, they will crossbreed really, really easily. So if you do want to save seed from those, there is a bit of a technique to them. Cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and lettuce and tomatoes, they're a lot easier to save your own seeds from. The third thing that seed companies don't want you to know is how easy it is to save seeds. If you're a beginner gardener, you might find the concept of saving your own seeds really overwhelming. And may I suggest to you that you start with some simple plants, because actually it's not as hard as it may seem. I do have a bit of a playlist on how to save different varieties of seeds, so I'll put that up here for you. As long as you don't have multiple plants of the same type of plant all flowering at once. For example, if you have a cauliflower, a broccoli and a cabbage and some kale all going to seed and flowering close together all at once, you do risk getting a cross-pollination thing happening and ending up with a bizarre hybrid. So it's best to let those plants flower one at a time, so that you can save what you know is true seed from each one. I hope this has encouraged you to start growing and saving your own seed. Tomatoes are probably one of the easiest to save seeds from, so check out this video here on how you can do that, and I will see you in the next one.